Life is like a roller coaster. There are certain ups and downs in our life. It's your choice. Either you rebel against the life's challenges, resenting about every moments of life, or else facing the difficulties and learning the experiences on the way. When you start learning, it gives an opportunity for your growth, development, and become a better version of yourself. Facing the challenges, learning from it, and bouncing back quickly from these setbacks is resilience. Vanakkam, welcome to Dr. Jiko Podcast, Season 2, Challenging and Resilient Stories. I am your host, Dr. Raji Arabi. This episode, we're having a wonderful woman from Jerusalem, a coach, a mentor, a business consultant, founder of Making It Work for You, Making It Work with You. And above all, she proudly says that she is a full time wife and mother. Her slogan or motto is do what you love and love what you do. She has a specific line in her emails. It shows her passion for learning. If you're still learning, then you are smart enough to know that there is still knowledge out there to learn. I'm honored and happy to welcome a powerful, positive personality from Jerusalem, it's Joe, to my podcast. Welcome, Joe.
Thank you, Raji. Thank you.
Yes,
it's great to be here.
It's my pleasure. And please tell about yourself, the things which you are not.
Okay. Sure. So I was born in the United Kingdom, and I was living there for 18 years. I was predominantly brought up in a Jewish world, going to a Jewish school most of my life, and mixing mostly with Jewish kids. And towards the end of the time that I lived in England, I lived there for 18 years. At the age of 16, I went to a vocational college, and it was a mixed group of people. And that was the beginning of the end. That was the beginning of the most incredible time in my life, because I started to mix with different kinds of people, and I understood that there was a whole world out there for me. So at the age of 16, I went to a vocational college, and at the age of 18, I left the United Kingdom, and I moved on to Jerusalem, to Israel. When I moved to Israel, I met my husband. Quite some time within the time I lived in Israel. Met my husband, and we have two wonderful kids, Isabella and Evan, age 9 and 5.
That's sweet. That's sweet about you. And tell us about your profession.
Okay, so I started off in a bagel store, serving bagels to people in the middle of in the center of Jerusalem. That is where I started to learn Hebrew, and was able to, to converse with other people within Israel. And to be honest with you, though, Jerusalem is a big community of Anglos, and a lot of people speak English too. But of course, I had to advance in my Hebrew to be able to survive in the same country as where everybody speaks that language. But people do speak English too. So moving from the bagel store, I started working with a corporation called IDT that had different departments with customer service, sales, fundraising, different types of departments. I worked in the sales department. I started as a sales agent. Within a few months of being a sales agent, I became a sales manager, and I managed a group of almost 40 very young boys, mostly boys or young men. It was challenging, of course, and very interesting. And I would say that is where my career really started, where it got me to today. IDT sent me through to tourism, travel and tourism.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in, for 7 years, I worked with a travel and tourism organization and brought many, many, many young Jewish professional Americans to Israel on a free trip. It was very interesting. My son got diagnosed with diabetes in 2018, type 1 diabetes. And I chose from then on to, that was the turning point in my career, that I decided that it was time to work for myself and be able to have more time with my family. And that's why we're here today. Now I'm working, I run my own company. It's called Making It Work for You. It's actually I mentor, I coach, I work with virtual assistant services as well. And I kind of mix it all up together, and it's really interesting. I'm really loving it.
That's interesting. That's interesting. There's a variety of background. And you were in diverse cultures also. No,
I was what?
Diverse cultures. You are traveling in diverse cultures.
Yeah. Yes, very much so. And that even more so now, ever since I've been on LinkedIn. I've been on LinkedIn now a year and a little bit. And I'm meeting the most incredible people, like I met you.
Thank you
It's amazing.
So much.
It's amazing.
It's just amazing. It's just amazing. And would you please share about your happy moments, the joyous moments, and what are the life lessons you have learned from that moments?
So I would say that the most joyous time in my life would have to be when I met my husband. I would say that's one of the most joyous times. The truth is, having both my kids was a joyous time too, but it all started with my husband. So let's start there. It was an interesting meeting. His half brother had recently passed away at a very young age, and he was in a bit of a bad time. And we met through a mutual friend, and we happened to live across the street. It was just fate. It was all just fate. We spent a lot of time together, and eventually we got engaged. I would say that for me, I always tell people that there is someone out there for everyone, no matter what. Everybody, life isn't a bed of roses. Life isn't easy, and sometimes when you're just not looking for it, it just appears.
Yes, absolutely. Tell wonderfully. Yes. Would you care to share some your difficult times, and what kind of emotions you are gone during that time?
Right. So one of the most, there's a few emotional times, more than a few in my lifetime. When I was 13, my brother was 17, and his best friend passed away. And that was pretty difficult time for our family. Our parents were very close with the boy who passed away's parents, so it was a pretty difficult time. But for me, the most difficult time was when my grandmother passed away. She was an incredible woman. In fact, I was thinking about her today, being IWD today. I was just thinking about how she lived, 2 seconds away from our house, and we spent day in and day out together. She was my total mentor in life. She taught me everything that I know today. Or at least what I know today from those times, because she didn't live in the times when everything was modern technology and things like that. She was an incredible woman. She taught me to play Scrabble, which I just love to play. And yeah, it was an emotional time. She came to live in Israel in 2011, and unfortunately, she really only made it 6 months in, and passed away after 6 months. But she got to meet my daughter, Isabella. So that was like a really special time for us. Was it an emotional time? I mean, any death in a family is an emotional time, but you have to learn to cope with it, because, people are born and people die, and that's life. So you just have to keep going.
Accepting the life as it is.
Got to be accepting.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Would you tell about your any turning points in your life, any breakthrough?
Any breakthrough? I would say becoming a manager at the age of 26 was quite a breakthrough for me. It was unexpected, but it was what I was fighting for a long time. I spent some time before that trying to I wouldn't say beat somebody else to the position, but I was competing against somebody else for a long time who was much older than me. And I think that he probably deserved it more than me. But in what happened is that, you know, I showed a different kind of personality. And in the end, that I was the chosen person.
Okay. What kind of emotions? Definitely, when you are competing with some person who is elder than you, who is who is having more experience than you, definitely you'll have that transition period. The change will be there, no? How do you manage that change?
Well, change is a hard one, you know. We talk about it a lot. Change. It just, you know, you just have to kind of roll with it. You have to just be able to persevere and move forward, and be able to cope with it. Changes happen daily, hourly, minutely. You know, it's not something that's always in our control. But that's just what happens. And you have to, I mean, you know, I use positivity as my lifeline. So you just have to take the good from the bad and say, these are the things I'm going to follow, and to really understand the situation. It's just the best way. Yeah, but change is not an easy one.
Yes, of course, it's very difficult, but we need to embrace the change to survive.
Have to. Yeah, yes. We really do.
Okay. What are the life lessons you have learned from your period, from your lifetime? Is there any specific life lessons you are learning you want to share with the audience who are listening this podcast? Because since you are, I have personally see you in the LinkedIn with I think more than 50,000 followers, and your posts are it's really awesome. Because and this podcast definitely you can tell the tips to the people, how these people become resilient, how they need to face the challenges in these difficult times. I just want to use this platform to talk about this resilience and the tips to resilience and how we can able to face the challenges. That's purely from you.
Thank you. It's a good one. Challenges, I mean, look, it's like I said, it's about positivity. It's always about positivity. It's about taking all the good things that are in front of you and saying that, you know, I'm going to manage whatever it is and cope and move forward. I think that a lot of people look at positivity, and I'm not saying, and I mentioned this last week, I'm not saying that you always have to be a positive person, but it's important to have that positive mindset right there, and to embrace the situations and to say, these are the things that I'm going to do, and these are the ways I'm going to be able to get out of the bad.
Yes, that's nice. That's nice. And any other life lessons you have learned from your life and you want to share with the people?
Gosh, there are so many. I think that it's important to understand that from where I'm coming from, that life changes a lot all the time. You meet different people from different diverse backgrounds. You meet people that you wouldn't necessarily come along or come to meet without certain aspects in your life. For example, starting my business and going on LinkedIn, I got to meet a million incredible people. There are so many incredible people that I've met. I think that in life, you have to really look at, you have to look at the good. You have to look at all the good that there is. You have to embrace everything that there is. Life is an extremely short time. There is no doubt in my mind, you know, like I said before, we suffered a loss in our family, a friend of my brother's when he was 17. Family passes away, friends pass away, it happens, death happens, but life is short. And it's important, as you said before, that, you know, I go by do what you love and love what you do. That people should embrace what they love. Nobody should be forced to work in a position that they don't enjoy. It's important to understand that a job, if you're in a job that you're really unhappy with, that you need to find something different. And even if that takes some time, I was very unhappy towards the end of my time. Spent 7.5 years in a travel and tourism company, and towards the end, it wasn't fulfilling my days. Mm-hmm. And I understood that it was time to change, and I took a very big risk. I got up one day in August and I said, I'm done. And I went to the office and I said, I'll give you a month's notice, and it's time for us to move on. And we agreed. We parted ways easily. But it's important to understand that you need to be in a place in life where you're happy, and that you do, when it comes to business, that you do what you love. Because if you don't do what you love, you're not going to be happy. That's the way I see it.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's fantastic. Yes, thank you so much. It's definitely an inspiration for people who are listening, because you keep on telling about the positivity, and you need to embrace the change, accept yourself. And again, you are quoting that do what you love. It's amazing. It's an important thing, because life will be very easy. When you follow this difficult thing, definitely life will be easy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that when you do what you love and love what you do, you basically don't work a single day in your life. I think you do. I think that you work, but I think the work that you do is what you love. Mm-hmm. I think that, you know, I support people all the time. As you know, I mentor and I speak with people all day long. And I love people. It's just amazing to like hear different ideas from people, different collaborations, different thoughts. You know, when I sit in a group of people and we talk, it just inspires me all the way. Mm-hmm. So I think that it's important to love what you do and to be happy, because otherwise, you know, and the idea of working every day, well, I mean, everybody needs to work at something, whether it's work for pay, for money, or whether you're working just, you know, you're volunteering, which is for a great cause, which is really important too. It's still work. We work, we clean houses, like we clean our house, we do our dishes, we still work. But as long as you enjoy it, that's the main thing in life.
Yes, that's nice. That's nice. Thank you so much for joining this podcast, and really I have learned a lot from this conversation. Thank you so much, Joe. Is there anything you want to tell to the audience specifically?
No, I mean, just like I said, do what you love and love what you do. That's the most important thing to do.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.